I said doing. I don't know why I said it that way. This one's gonna be a bit of like just a vent, I guess. I almost just spilled soda everywhere. Oops. So, what did I do today? I cleaned everything. I went to the store. My mom got me a gift card to Walmart for groceries on Easter. So I used that, and that was very, very helpful. Then what else did I do? I went to. I don't have a local like feed and grain store, and with the boys, I get them corn cob bedding for the trays of their cage. I just found out that I do have a local feed and grain store. I had just been going to the one where I got my boys in 2017, 28, like around there, late teens. And so I just had gone there to this place, and it's like an hour from here, 45 minutes. I've been going to that place since I got them, and they're undergoing some new management, and they have no stock right now, and they close at 4. So I had finished doing what I needed to do, and then I booked it, and I made it in time, but they had no stock, and I didn't realize changing management meant that the whole place would be empty. So that was like a bit irritating, but yeah, that was a bit irritating. But yeah, I found out like our local Tractor Supply sells corn cob bedding, so I can get that. It's not a hard thing to find. I live in a place where there's a lot of farmers, so I can assume that this is a thing that they have like basically everywhere. It's just finding it. For me, I'm not in the circle, so it takes a bit of digging, but that happened lately. I'm still into Metal Gear. I watched The Thing Wednesday, I think, the 1982 version with Kurt Russell, and I enjoyed that. And that's been kind of percolating in the brain a little bit. 80s Kurt Russell. His hair is magnificent. It was nice. It was very nice. I've been writing, not drawing so much. I kind of want to draw this afternoon, so I think I might do that after this. But yeah, it's just kind of been, I don't know, it feels like a slog. I think it's because my period is coming soon. If you are female or know someone who is female, my condolences. Because it is pretty miserable to not like be normal. And I say that, and I know that that's like a really uneducated thing to say, and I apologize, but it feels like I get a scant few days to feel like a normal human being with no crazy hormones during the cycle. And it's like my body is on a clock, and I have no choice when things happen, and it's really, really frustrating, and I just hate feeling the way I do. I don't think I really have like a hormone imbalance or anything like that. I just, gee boy howdy, do I hate the like pre-period days? Because I talked with my therapist once about PMDD. I think that's what it's called. Basically, the days before your period, like normally you're kind of just a little miserable. I want to kill myself. So, not so much anymore. But before my period, it is genuinely like Henny Penny, the sky is falling. I am miserable. I cannot seem to get myself out of a slump. It's just terrible. I think, oddly enough, I've been doing a lot better off of medication with it than I had been on medication. And I think it's just because I'm really trying to just change the way I think about things. I can't change the internal processes that my body goes through, but I think changing the way that I think about them is really helping. So I've just been doing that. But one thing that I am having a really hard time thinking myself out of is wanting external validation. This is like a very vulnerable, embarrassing topic that I like don't like talking about it ever. I mean, everyone wants attention, right? Like I think that's a common human trait. You want to feel like people are listening to you, people care about you, people care about the things that you care about, things like that. My social circle is extremely, extremely small, and I mean that I am around or am in close contact with 3 people. That's my life. And I like how small it is, but I do find myself struggling to self-regulate often, and I feel like I rely on others, or not so much that I rely on others because I don't think I do, but I internally rely or feel like I have to rely on others for how I self-regulate. And it's very frustrating because that doesn't feel functional and it doesn't feel healthy. And again, not that I'm going out of my way to like seek out validation from the people in my life, but it just feels like no matter what I do, nothing feels like it's good enough for me. And I don't mean the people around me. Sorry if this is not making sense, but it just feels like the things that I do, my hobbies, things that I take interest in, I can't just be proud of them. It feels like I very much desire other people to tell me what they think. And I think communication is a good thing, but I feel like I put so much weight on receiving feedback from people that I cannot just accept my own feedback, right? And I think this is part of being a creative person, and that is just a fucking nightmare. I love art. I will always love art. It is something that I do not every day. I used to, but there are a lot of people that love art, and I think that's great. I can't relate to other people that like art, and that's a problem because it really isolated me when I was in art school because I had a hard time. I have a lot of like imposter syndrome, and I feel very different from other people, and not in like the ooh like edgy kind of way, just in the like there's something fundamentally fucking wrong with you kind of way. And it makes me give up on a lot of things really easy. But drawing was one of those things that I never really gave up on, and writing is one of those things too. But again, it's I am terrified of people's feedback, but I crave it all the same, and it's very odd and annoying to be that way. I also think social media doesn't help because you see lots of people that are receiving just oodles and boodles of feedback and validation from others, and it's not all positive. I'm not going to say that, but it's hard not to feel jaded, I guess, at that, or feel like there's something wrong that you're doing if I can't have that, or like why, like it's easy for me to internalize things and I compare. And especially I think that comes up when I see people that are like really popular artists online. I really have to accept that that will never be me. And it's not from like a like just lay down and die kind of thing. It's I don't think I would function well if I got the things that I wanted. I've really done a lot of thought exercises and a lot of writing to come up with like the perfect phrase that I want to hear from someone, or the perfect set of circumstances that I feel like I want. And as soon as I get it, it's nothing. And that happens a lot. I've noticed that with even like online shopping or something, which I did have a issue with that like a while ago, and I've done a really good job with kind of backpedaling. And it's the wanting, I feel like, is probably the best part of it. And then once you get the thing, it doesn't help. And a lot of it is just how you think of it, how you frame it in your head. So I'm hoping this is making sense, but I guess it's just I know that I want things. These things are not practical. They're not things that I think in the end would make me very happy. And that's why it frustrates me to still want them. That's what I've just been dealing with a lot because I see people and I compare and I'm really upset that I can't be that. I talked about that in like another video I had about my appearance where I used to compare myself a lot to my cousin. And I still do that, not necessarily with my cousin, but with other girls that I see out and about. And again, I am very rarely running into people my age. I don't really communicate often. I don't have friends. Uh I have online friends, but I don't have people that I see in person, and I think it's creating more of an issue for me because I am finding it very hard to relate to other women. But I compare, and I realize like I fall short in a lot of ways, and it's really upsetting because I did go through like no, not like other girls phase, and not in like an out and about way, but in a very internal like dislike for anything that was girly. And thinking of me as a girl for a while was something that I like was so grossed out about. I didn't want to affiliate with women. I didn't want anything to do with them really. And then I got over it and I realized I very much am a girl. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I still have a lot of work to do on that front, but I feel like I compare a lot and I don't feel like other women. And I think that was part of what caused the problems before. And I don't know if any amount of thinking is ever going to really fix that. I've always felt super different from other people. Not that I was like bullied crazily in school. I think it was just probably a normal amount that people get bullied, but I've just really internalized a lot. And I think I just feel very alien. I have ADHD. I don't really think I'm autistic or anything like that. I do struggle sometimes with social things, but I don't think I have a problem with social cues and other things that I see uh, those with autism struggle with. So I'm not quite sure what I've got going on. I just know that I think part of it, honestly, is growing up with a single mom who is also very misogynistic and very independent and older. I think I they say when you can see when kids are raised by their grandparents because they do act a little older than they would. Like, I saw a video of this little boy, like, walking like his grandpa does, and it's like, kids wouldn't normally do that, but they mimic what they see because they're really great sponges that way, and I feel like that was me with my mom, and, for the longest time, I felt like I was only an attachment to her. I didn't really have my own personality, and I think that was what probably caused a lot of the bullying when I was younger because I didn't understand. I was very attached to my mother. Like, with the whole everything going on with my dad and, like, having to go to his house and not feeling safe there, like, I really latched onto my mom and, like, unhealthily, and I don't feel like I really developed a personality or any kind of separation until I was, like, 12. Like, it just felt like I was sleepwalking. I didn't feel like I woke up until I was, like, a preteen, and then I realized, like, "Oh, I have interests and things that are separate from my mom," and but, by that point, I feel like a lot of the damage was done, and when I started to try to finally understand what I was, not necessarily who I was, but what I was, I feel like I was fumbling a lot, and my mom couldn't really lead me because I didn't want her to, and she was also very much like a tomboy, so I never I'm not saying that, like, it's a rite of passage to, like, learn how to do makeup and dress properly, but these are things that I feel like most mothers do teach their daughters, and my mom did not. So, all of these things I had to learn awkwardly and slowly and on my own, and kids are very cruel, and they say lots of things, and that's just the way life is, but I think that I was just a little different from others because of that, and that's kind of just been a mainstay my entire life. And it causes me to compare a lot because I don't feel like them. And I wish I did. I wish that I could, but I can't. So I self-isolate a lot. And then I see like really pretty girls in public and then I immediately am like I should be run over. Like I break mirrors. I literally break like I feel so repugnant compared to other women and I I don't know how to navigate that yet, and that's like a problem. So that compared with like, oh, hobby things that I really like and put a lot of time into and then it basically goes nowhere. I should just enjoy the hobby for what it is. I should just enjoy myself for what I am, but I compare a lot and I just feel like I'm not getting the things I need, but I am. I'm not getting what I want, and the things that I want aren't necessarily things that I need, and they're not going to benefit me in the long run. So right now, it's complicated. It's very complicated. Very tiring, very complicated. And that's just the way of it, isn't it? Yeah. So that's pretty much everything that's been going on. Thank you for listening to that. If any of that made sense, I feel a little bit better talking about it because it's something that kind of just exists up here. That was very Cynthia Erivo what I just did, but it just exists up here. I have never been able to really journal. That's never been something that I could do. I love writing, but I cannot write about myself. It's even if I'm writing something that is myself adjacent, it is myself adjacent. It's not me. It's a better version of myself that I would like to be. So, but most often I just write about other people because it's easier. So I can't really process things like in a journal, which like therapists will recommend doing that. I just can't. This is easier maybe a little too public, you know? Maybe these things don't need to be blasted on the internet. Maybe I am not doing a good job with protecting my digital footprint. But you know what? I did not think I was gonna make it to this point or this age. And what is life if not to live it a little dumbly? So that's what I intend to do. Anyway, I love you. I hope you're doing well. And please stay safe. Make good decisions. That's pretty much it. Bye.